saying to themselves during the race, I used to run races, still occasionally do, why am I doing this? However, when they get done with the race, they feel great. And they feel relaxed. During the cross-country season, my wife and I, it's very obvious, our son's mood was better. On the right, my daughter's in the white. Her mood was better during the cross-country season. Why is that? Exercise and intermittent fasting both increase the production of proteins in the brain that are called neurotrophic factors. We discovered this many years ago, back when I was a postdoc in Colorado in the 1980s. We found that these neurotrophic factors, such as FGF and one called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, promote the growth of neurons, promote the connection of neurons and strengthening of synapses. Lower right. Okay, so here's the idea. Challenges to your brain, whether it's intermittent fasting, vigorous exercise, or what we're doing now, hopefully, if you haven't fallen asleep, is cognitive challenges. When this happens, neural circuits are activated, levels of neurotrophic factors such as BDNF increase. That promotes the growth of the neurons, the formation and strengthening of synapses. Also shown in the lower left, it turns out both exercise, intermittent fasting, and using your neurons, using your brain, can increase the production of new nerve cells from stem cells, at least in one region of your brain called the hippocampus, which is shown here. I mentioned ketones, which come from burning fat, and that happens during fasting. The Romans discovered ketones, even though they hadn't taken any chemistry courses or didn't know what it was. People with epileptic seizures back then, they thought they were possessed by demons. And they found if they take these people and shut them in a room and don't feed them, the demons will go away. What's happening is ketones go up, and it's well known that ketones suppress seizures, and in fact, ketogenic diets are used to treat, even today, patients with severe epilepsy. We're doing my work in my lab trying to understand why ketones are good for neurons. One reason is they provide an alternative fuel for the neurons that boost the energy levels in the neurons. Recently, we discovered that fasting, by increasing BDNF levels in the brain, this neurotrophic factor, can increase the number of mitochondria in your nerve cells. And I'm not going to go into the details of this slide, but the mechanism is very similar to the mechanism whereby exercising your muscles increases the number of mitochondria in your muscles. The fasting is a mild energetic stress, and the neurons respond adaptively by increasing mitochondria, which helps them produce more energy. And in this paper cited down here in Nature Communications, we recently showed that by increasing the number of mitochondria in neurons, it can increase the ability of the neurons to form and maintain synapses, and thereby increase learning and memory ability. In addition to the increasing neurotrophic factors and increasing the energy, neuronal bioenergetics, if you will, we have found that intermittent fasting will enhance the ability of your nerve cells to repair DNA. So right now, and also probably exercise and also intellectual challenges. And again, what's happening in this case, when you're using your neurons, exercising your neurons, it causes a mild oxidative stress. And at the same time that there's increased oxidative stress, the cells are enhancing their ability to repair oxidative damage to DNA. Why is it that the normal diet is 3 meals a day plus snacks? It isn't that it's the healthiest eating pattern. Now that's my opinion, but I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. There are a lot of pressures to have that eating pattern. There's a lot of money involved. The food industry, are they going to make money from skipping breakfast like I did today? No, they're going to lose money. If people eat fast, the food industry loses money. What about the pharmaceutical industry? What if people, intermittent fasting and exercise periodically and are very healthy? Is the pharmaceutical industry going to make any money on healthy people? So one challenge for society, and this is one of the purposes of these TED Talks, hopefully, is that communication is the way to improve health. People understanding what they can do to improve their health and then taking action, like Jeff talked about in his own talk this morning. So I would urge you to communicate and spread the word that there are ways for people to be healthy, and maybe we can do this even with, of course, I'm working for the NIH, and one thing about the NIH is we're using your taxpayers' money to try to help your health. We don't have a profit motive. And so really one of the main reasons I've got interested in things like intermittent fasting, exercise, trying to understand at the cellular molecular level what's happening in the brain is this is research that isn't commonly done, and it's not done at all by pharmaceutical industries, and it's not done so much. So I'm going to end with this slide, and thank you very much for your attention, and try it out. You can just play around with this, these kinds of diets, and you may find, what we found in our human studies, though, is it's kind of like exercise. If you've never exercised before and you go out and run 3 miles, you're not going to feel good. If you eat 3 meals a day, and all of a sudden you go a whole day, don't eat anything, that day you're going to feel irritable and ornery and so on. But it turns out if you can kind of force yourself to do that maybe 1 day a week for a month and then 2 days a week, you get used to it, and after a month or two, many people can adapt to that kind of diet with no problem, and you'll find on the days that you don't